Let's imagine you're in a white room, strapped to a bed, looking face forward. You see a window. As the blinds pull up, you notice an audience staring back at you. Your eyes are stuck on the clock. 1 more minute to go. The man beside you asks if you have any last words. You nod your head no, and he presses a button. You feel the fluid go through your IV, and you slowly lose feeling of the cushion you were squeezing onto. Lethal injection is one of the few ways known of capital punishment today. 31 of the 50 states in America still have death penalty legal today. But emotionally, financially, and ethically speaking, the death penalty should be no more. It doesn't take a lot of strength to hang on. It takes a lot of strength to let go. J.C. Watts. Some will try and argue that the death penalty gives closures to victims' families. But according to balancepolitics.org, that's not the case. Killing someone will not bring your loved ones back. And hate, revenge, and anger will never cure the emptiness of a broken heart. Abigail has experienced this firsthand. According to aclump.org, Alba's daughter was murdered at age 19. Abba says she wanted revenge for 8 years, but didn't receive the peace she needed until she wrote a letter to her daughter's killer, forgiving him. Abba says she doesn't agree with the death penalty because murder is still murder. It's violence against another human being. And isn't she right? Isn't it kind of ironic that we're going to kill people who kill others just to prove killing's wrong? Doesn't quite make sense, does it? Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss in life is what dies inside us while we live. Norman Cousins. Others will also argue that the death penalty saves us money. But in reality, according to deathpenalty.org, it costs us about $621,000 for a federal case involving the death penalty. That's 8 times more than that of a federal case without the death penalty involved. The death penalty comes out of our pockets as taxpayers. In fact, in Nebraska alone, it costs $14.5 million just to maintain the system. That's $1.5 million more for every case involving death penalty than to have the person live in prison for life without parole. It's cheaper to keep the criminals in jail for the rest of their lives. Plus, why give them the satisfaction of death when they can rot in prison for the remainder of it? The law has no compassion. Injustice is administered without compassion. Christopher Darden. Did you know 1 in 25 on death row are presumably innocent? Yet the death penalty still exists. Let's look at the case of Cameron Todd Willingham. According to the InnocenceProject.org, Cameron's house started on fire in 1991. It ultimately killed his 3 daughters. Willingham survived only to be prosecuted for it. Although he maintained his evidence, he was convicted based on the testimony of forensic experts as well as a jailhouse informant who said he heard a confession out of Willingham. 13 years later, days before Willingham's execution, his attorneys sent the Government of Board of Pardon and Parole a report stating the bad scientific analysis used in his conviction. But state officials never looked at it, and Willingham was executed by lethal injection in 2004. After his death, the Innocence Project got together 5 of the nation's top arson investigators. They went over his case, and do you know what they found? None of the evidence used to convict Willingham was valid. That's right. Willingham died an innocent man. But Willingham isn't the only one out there. And the Innocence Project has helped exonerate over 200 others. And DNA testing has helped free 300 others. There are not enough jails, not enough police, and not enough courts to enforce a law not supported by the people. Hubert H. Humphrey. It is we, the people, who have the power to get rid of the death penalty. So let's review the facts. Emotionally speaking, two wrongs don't make a right, and you can't cure the emptiness of a broken heart. Financially speaking, we're paying out-of-pocket money when it's cheaper to keep these criminals in prison. And lastly, on the ethical side of things, we are killing innocent men who don't deserve to die. So let's go back to that white room. Innocent or not, you were gonna die. The rest of us were gonna pay for it, and it wasn't gonna bring our loved ones back. So is capital punishment the route we really wanna stay on? Hopefully after today, you'll see why the death penalty should be eradicated. Thank you.